بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. عن عائشة رضي الله عنها قالت: كان رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم يجاور في العشر الأواخر من رمضان ويقول: تحروا ليلة القدر في العشر الأواخر من رمضان. متفق عليه. Aisha radiallahu ta'ala anha narrates that Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam would stay in the last 10 days of Ramadan, and he would say that look for Laylatul Qadr in the last 10 days of Ramadan. This is something that, throughout the Ramadan, it's discussed over and over about Laylatul Qadr. There are some scholars that even mention that Laylatul Qadr not only is in Ramadan, it's a possibility of it being even outside of Ramadan. And there are dozens of opinions about when Laylatul Qadr could possibly be. And the way Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the main wisdom behind why the Laylatul Qadr was taken away, the fixed date was taken away, it's like, a lot of times like Ramadan is fixed. And once Ramadan is gone, we feel that we are not able to keep up because we know the absence of something. But Laylatul Qadr is something that we just don't know which night it is, so we continuously do it. And it's inside of Ramadan and outside of Ramadan according to some opinions. But obviously, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam knew as the time goes on that it's not going to be something that we would be able to maintain all 360 days throughout the entire year. So Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam mentioned that that it is most likely in the month of Ramadan. And one year, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he spent the first 10 days of Ramadan in the masjid doing Itikaf, and then he spent the next 10 days. And after 20 days, he said, I did the first 10 days of Itikaf, thinking that I would find Laylatul Qadr. There was no Laylatul Qadr. Then the second day, the second Ashra, I also spent it and I did not find it. He said, spend the last 10 days with me. And then Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, look for it in the last 10 days. Then Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam in another narration mentions that look for it in the odd nights. And then there is more narrations that mention the 25th and the 27th to be more likely. But remember, just because something is more likely to be on a certain night doesn't mean that it is going to be on those nights. Obviously, if we are able to keep up with it throughout the month of Ramadan, that's the best. If we can't keep up with it throughout the month of Ramadan, then we should keep up with it at least in the last 10 nights. If we can't keep up with it in the last 10 nights, then let's keep up with it in the odd nights of the last 10 nights. And if we can't do that, then obviously, then we will choose the 25th, 27th. If it's absolutely only one night that we can spend throughout the whole month, which is obviously something a little bit unfair to the mercy of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that we can't even spend more than one night. But obviously, if we are only going to designate one night, then it would be most likely to the chances of it are being very high to be the 27th night. But this concept that it is definitely the 27th night, that's not there. If that was the case, then we wouldn't have to do ibadah any other night. So the Laylatul Qadr does fluctuate throughout possibly the whole year, but definitely throughout the month of Ramadan, and then throughout the last 10 days of the month of Ramadan within the odd nights and whatnot. And this is what Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam is mentioning in this hadith and other ahadith similar to this. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us the ability to always search for the blessed night of Laylatul Qadr. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us the ability to maximize Ramadan in the best of our ability. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala always give us the ability to fulfill the expectations of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam and always be driven to the mercy of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Subhanallah bihamdihi, subhanakallah bihamdihi.